what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of trying to stretch out those, I don't know what any of this is really called, and I'm sure there's probably experts out there that are going, what is she talking about? Because I'm sure I'm not using the right words, but I'm looking for that elastic that the dough gets when the gluten has developed. We went hunting all day yesterday and had a fantastic time. Just hung out in the woods, and you know, it's one thing about my husband that I really enjoy about him is we can sit in the woods together all day and not say a word and still have a good time. You know, making the occasional, you know, the hand gestures at each other, like, you know, do you see that? Do you see that? Or watch over there, I heard something, or whatever, but he's just, I don't know. Something about hunting with your husband, you know, I don't know, it's really, it's nice. And I don't know why more women don't like to do it. And my husband would rather hunt with me than anybody else, because I don't make him late. I don't do stupid stuff in the woods because he's trained me to do it how, you know, he does it. He's not afraid that I'm gonna accidentally shoot him. I mean, he's actually been hunting with people that have scared the crap out of him before. You know, when he was a kid, he used to hunt with this family that was really good friends of theirs, of his whole family's. And the way that they would get each other's attention, and of course this is back in, you know, Central Oregon, where hunting is a completely different style, I guess, than it is here. They don't use dogs, and you know, you hike for miles and miles and miles, and you don't see other hunters. You don't, it's just a different kind of hunting. It's more of a, you know, of a stalk. You stalk and you look for sign, and then you sit very quietly for hours and hours and hours after you've, you know, figured out their movements and things like that. So anyway, he was with this family, and he was a teenager, and the way they got each other's attention, like, Mike was on one side of a big gully or ravine or whatever, and they were trying to get his attention because they wanted him to come back on the other side. He's standing there, and all of a sudden this mud puddle right beside him explodes, and then he hears the crack, you know, of the rifle, and he looks up, and there's his friend's dad waving at him, telling him to come. He basically shot like 20 feet from him, you know, and at a very, very long distance, to get his attention. And so my husband's like really leery about going in the woods with too many people. He I don't know, he's trained me, and he's comfortable with me, and your husband would be the same way, you know. And man, I'll tell you what, there's no better way to get your husband's undivided attention than to get on his level and do things that he wants. I hear a lot of my friends say, you know, oh man, you know, he's always watching football, or he's always off doing this and doing that, and you know, he doesn't pay attention to me, or whatever, especially like people who are having trouble in their marriage. And I think to myself, I think, you know, and I try to talk to people, but there's just some people that just don't, no matter how much you talk to them, they just don't get it. Do you see how I'm starting to get the sticky, the stretchiness? But anyway, I think to myself, you know, why don't you go do what he likes to do? You expect him, see how it's starting to stretch? You expect him to go to the mall and go shopping with you, but, you know, to go to dinner and go to movies and go do things that you like, why don't you try to go do things that he likes to do? Anyway, I guess that's just my opinion. And then also with us being military, you know, we're always a come here, never a from here, and it's hard to make good friendships that, you know, last. Well, I mean, our friendships last a long time, but you don't get to be around them for very long. So about the time that you feel like, you know, this person and I are really, you know, hitting it off, they're moving on. So anyway, all right, so I'm starting to get some stretchy in here. I'm gonna stir this just a little bit longer. I want to stir it until the stringiness goes, when I hold it at bowl, a little bit above bowl level, that it doesn't break. It's not quite there, almost. And this is what you do to get your bread so it doesn't crumble. I think we're almost there. All right, now this is starting to string pretty nice, so I'm going to add some more flour. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle on another scooper full of flour. I'm gonna cut a lot out of this video so it's not so long, but I just want you to know that this is not something that you're gonna do quickly if you're gonna do it, you know, by hand. And the only reason I'm doing this one by hand was just to show you that you can do it by hand if you don't have a KitchenAid or if you're in an SHTF situation.